State Building.
I'm ready when you're ready.
Oh, girl, you say that like you mean it. You always are, though.
I
Zara
am.
Larsson is always on point. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you for
Hey.
hanging out with us, love. You're part of the family. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? The smile's
Yeah.
always bright. It's always big.
Yeah.
And we were talking before we cracked the mic here about how 2024 feels. It feels like there's a different type of optimism, a different type
Totally.
of
It's a good
joy.
energy.
Great energy. And,
Yeah.
and for you to be on the horizon looking at Venus here and looking at this
Mhm.
album, how does that translate into just your heart health at this point in time right now?
No,
this
I think
optimism,
it's a beautiful way of starting off the year. I mean, that's what I felt like last year when I released Can't Tame Her, because it has such good energy. It's like, you know, let's go. The vibes are high. And now with the full album out, it's just going to be an incredible year. I get to go on tour, which
Yeah.
I haven't done in a while. I've done the festivals, you know,
Yep.
summer festivals, but it was a long time ago where I got to go out and do my own show and just do that. And then I'll bring the show to the U.S. after summer. So
You're
I'll
just
see
dropping
you
all the
then.
gems right here in the first 30 seconds of this conversation. Like,
Boom,
I got
boom,
things
boom.
to do. I've been working, and I
Real.
need you to know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
yep, absolutely. I'll be coming. So it just feels good. I feel weirdly calm, actually.
Really.
Usually I'm super anxious. I am a little stressed, you know, because it's scary having to worked on something for a long time and then you release it.
The world
And
has
just,
it now.
you know, you have to kind of let it go in a way. But I feel so confident and just calm about it. I also feel really excited to just keep working on music. I think it's a beautiful thing to release something, because it also means that you can start with something new while you sing the songs that you have created. So I'm just all about like really getting down and going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't do well just like sitting around. Yeah.
Life gets boring.
Yeah.
Well, Venus is here, and it is a pop album.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So many tracks for the girlies.
Yeah.
I really loved, what was the one that you talk about where you love who you love?
Yeah.
It's a message for girls that, like, girl, he ain't it. Like, this
not.
is just
Stand
a
up.
problem. I haven't heard this message before. It's like you hear it, but not in music.
Mhm.
So what drove you to write that specific track?
It was my friend and I were in the studio. Me and Emanike.
What,
Yeah.
don't just say
come
my
on.
friend.
No, come on.
Emanike,
Come
come
on.
on. Yeah, we know. Yes.
Me and Emanike were in the studio with a producing duo called Mother, and we were just kind of like, it was actually Pride. It was like the Pride Parade in Stockholm, and Kian, one of the guys from Mother, he was like, we should write something like, you know, like, you love who you love. Like, you could just love whoever you want. I'm like, that's cool, but I want a twist on it. I want, like, something, like you say, that you haven't really heard in a song before, but something that's very relatable.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so, to me, it's like, of course you can love who you love, but who shouldn't you love? And that is someone who is not good for you.
Yeah.
Because you could love anyone in the world if they're good to you, but someone who isn't treating you nice, that's someone you shouldn't be with. And I relate to both sides. Like, I've definitely been in the position where my friends have told me, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, who?
Like,
Why?
what?
No.
Yeah, like, what is going on? And I've also definitely been telling my friends the same thing. Like, don't you see? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, you know this is going to happen again, and you're going to break up, and then you're going to be back together, and then you're going to break up, and you're going to be back together. And it's just not healthy, and it's not good for you. And the hard part is that you don't really realize until you see from the other side. So even my friends who then told me when I was in that position, like, my sister came home while I was seeing this guy, and we were going back and forth, and she came home and she saw him sitting in the couch, and she just started crying.
Because she knew.
She was like, oh, I hate him.
She felt
And I
it.
was like, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But then after we had broken up, it was just like, he was so trash.
Yeah.
But you just love who you love when you love them.
To find
It's a very
to find the strength to create songs based off of those emotions and to put them out there for the world to connect to.
Yeah.
From a songwriter's perspective, what is that like for you, to know that you found that strength in yourself enough to share this story for others to relate also?
I think it's just a part of life.
Yeah.
For some people, they're in it. I know some of my friends, they're still in it, and I hope and I pray that one day they're going to realize what I'm seeing, because I just think it's someone that you find so amazing and incredible that just deserves someone who would also treat them like you view them, And I think it's also, you're right about, like, it's about finding that self-love of also realizing that, I think. And it's easy to look back, like I said, and just be like, haha, well, what was that about? But once you're in it, it's really difficult to find your path out of that.
Yep.
But now looking back, I feel I'm just, a stronger, better person. And I think it's always fun to take some inspiration from my friends and what's going on there, but also just to kind of reminisce on my own life. And I do think it's very relatable.
For sure.
No matter where you see it, what perspective you take the story from. But I think music, just in general, what's so nice about music is that it is a form of something you relate to. That's why we put on sad music when we're sad, even though it's a weird thing. You're like, why would you do that to yourself? But I think it's something to feel. You want to connect. You want to feel like you're not alone in this. Someone understands me.
100%.
Someone's been in that, same situation. So I think that's also really nice about music. In
You
general.
do it well.
Yeah.
We said
Thank
it for
you.
years. You do it well. Yeah, no, for real.
Thank
For real,
you.
for real.
We do see the roller coaster in the album because we see the love songs like Escape and obviously Venus.
Yeah.
But then we also see that you're trying to work on yourself in your closing song, Healing.
Yeah.
You get really vulnerable in there.
Yeah.
How was that journey of deciding to open up to us about that?
Yeah, no, it definitely is a little bit more of a journey on this album than my previous one, or a bit more dynamic. So it's definitely these club bangers and then the really vulnerable piano ballads. And I thought it was a really beautiful way of kind of closing out the album with as well, because Venus, she's the goddess of love, and all of these songs are about love, and there's so many different emotions you can kind of find yourself in. And I think the most beautiful thing is that self-love that we talked about, and just kind of finding the space and time to just hold for yourself in becoming the person that you want to be for yourself. And sometimes that happens with the help of others as well, but you just got to really get into it with yourself and just give that time for healing and to find your way back to who you are.
There's so much strength in when I tell you we first met when this little knucklehead came in here with Reese's peanut butter cups.
I did.
You know what I mean? And we were talking. I mean, but the growth, you had that intelligence and you had that self-awareness then, and to know that each step of the way you have been able to just firmly plant your feet into a stronger and a better version of yourself, and that it comes through in these songs
Thank
here,
you so
because
much.
that's a self-awareness that not a lot of people are privy to know about themselves, and for you to go and create from that space, it's special, Zara.
Well, this
It
is your
truly
fourth.
special.
This is your fourth studio
Yep.
album.
Yep.
So it's not your first rodeo. Congratulations.
No. Yeah.
It's been a road. So
It has.
what can you say has been the difference from when you were first sitting down to record and now
Yeah.
on your fourth run?
You know what? In a way, this album really made it feel like it kind of was my first. I remember making my first one that I just put up on streaming platforms or everywhere because it was just for Scandinavia.
Yeah.
But then since I bought back my masters, I was like, let's just put it on worldwide. But yeah, most people think of So Good as my first album, but it's actually one before that called One, creatively enough, because it was my first. But it's the sense of just having really fun when you create it. It's a sense of freedom, and I felt a lot of pressure and I felt a lot of anxiety making Poster Girl, even though I love the track. It's so sleek and so pop and fun. The creation of doing this, I felt a lot more involved And I feel like the older I get, I'm not just a performer. I feel like I am an artist that gets to like decide more, be part of the creative process, because I've always loved to just be on stage and perform and entertain. But now I'm like, I want to, write the songs. I want to direct my videos. I want to be a part, like, it's just a part of stepping into those shoes, I think, and just having a lot of fun. Like this one was just so, I just had more fun, I think, creating this album, and I didn't feel any sort of like pressure with it. And I think it was because I wrote it with a very small group of people and people that I know very well, like MNEK. It's like, it just felt like family.
This goes to exactly what you said as we first started this conversation about that calm, that sense of I'm not feeling anxious at this point in time.
No.
You're feeling all parts of confident because it is, again, you're tapping into a true sense of self, and you're going to be able to express yourself visually with the creation of the treatments of the stage and every single button that goes into the wardrobe on tour. To be able to now, and again, for those of y'all that didn't catch up on that subtle little drop there, owning your masters.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about you being that woman, that boss woman who is really prepared to bring this version of yourself to the world. How I was almost dropped it. How damn excited are you?
It's so exciting. Just the feeling of like having that in my back and knowing it's just a different vibe going into the label, and like knowing what I could do for myself. And actually, a part of it was also to just be a bit more assertive in what I want to do. And sometimes that might cost me an extra $1 or $2. Yeah. Like I was not really happy with the cover, so I was like, well, let's redo it, and I'll just pay for it, and I want to do this. Well, I'll just do it. Like, I do have a bit more responsibility, but also that means that I have a bit more we call
it standing on business.
Exactly.
You are right now. You are standing on business,
and it feels good. It feels really good, and just doing like what I want to do. And then obviously all the songs that I've released previously that I just love, that are just a part of my identity as an artist. Just the fact that I get to decide like how they're gonna be treated in the future. And just having that kind of as a retirement fund. Yeah. Honestly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Stand on business.
Well, we're also really excited. You mentioned that you've been performing at festivals, but now you're going on your own tour again. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was and is the prep for that? Because it's coming up in like 10 days.
No, literally.
I mean,
like, it's not enough. Was the prep not enough? I wish I had so much more time, but it's going to be amazing. And I think the biggest difference is that it's just girls this time. Like, I feel like it's like embodying what Venus is for me. It's very empowering. It's very much of like female empowerment. And I try to surround myself with as many women as I can, and just also standing on business. Like, I want to represent, and I want to do that by having the people around me and on stage being women, and just show people that, I have a beautiful band with super talented musicians. And if someone in the crowd sees that and think, oh, like, I also want to be a drummer, or, oh, I also want to like do this. And just to represent that, I think that is going to be really, really fun.
I remember seeing Beyonce as one of the first
female
artists that she was like, my
full
whole band is going to be all women.
It's powerful.
What other women have you been looking up to just over the years?
I mean, Beyonce's always my number one.
Yeah.
She's the queen, the queen. But there's so many. I mean, it was just the Grammys, and I felt like the women were really taking home like a lot of these amazing awards. I love Victoria Monet.
I didn't realize this. I saw this on Swiss Beats IG. Alicia Keys was still winning Grammys for her album that she dropped like 20 years ago. That's how awesome.
How does that happen?
It was like just some sort of contemporary vocalish da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, I mean, they're amazing women in the game. Like you said, Victoria Monet,
Taylor Swift, obviously.
They full on at the Grammys. They had a meet and greet for Beyonce. Like, I don't know if you realize that. People were like, it was a meet and greet. Like, that's it.
Like getting in line. I mean, I would too. Yeah. No, but it's an exciting time, I think. I mean, I feel like women have always been front figures in the pop world, at least on stage.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to have that around, you know, who are working on the music, or like in the band or in the crew, and on positions in the, you know, record companies. And like I really see a big change there too.
Let me ask you this. What does it mean to you to know that you are one of those women? The same way you're naming these other amazing artists. No, really, Zara, you are one of those
thank you.
amazing women in the game that have others looking.
I mean,
as
it's just an
example.
honor. It really is. It really is. And I mean, I think everyone out there who I look up to, they're just kind of doing what they do, being themselves. And I think that's the most powerful thing. And I'm very privileged.
Yeah.
And a dream. It really is.
God, you're
It's
living
nice
your
being a
dream,
woman
girl.
right now.
Come on.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
I agree.
Oh, well, thank you for giving your love in this album. We know Valentine's Day
Yeah.
is coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans? Do you think of a Valentine this year?
I mean, I will be away from home.
Okay.
So, you know, I won't really go on a date. Maybe a FaceTime date.
Ooh.
We'll see. We'll see if I get some flowers and a little chocolate, something like that. But I don't have any big plans. Yeah. What about you?
Well, yeah, my man's going to be a ways, but last year
Yeah.
he didn't do anything. So this year I'm like, you better
But you know
come
what?
prepped.
I would, right.
Yeah.
I would probably appreciate, like, let's say flowers or whatever on just a random Thursday, rather than like,
It
it's
doesn't have to
nice.
be Valentine's Day,
No,
is what you're saying.
yeah. And it's nice that we celebrate love, that it's like a holiday specifically for that.
Mhm.
But I also think like going out and like everyone's out that day, or like
That's
going
true.
like,
Yeah.
you know, how special is it if everyone, I don't know.
He can send me a tennis bracelet
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. That'd be
Exactly.
sweet enough. We don't have to go anywhere. He can just buy me something.
Yeah, boom,
But
send it in the mail.
No, but for real, Zara, every time you come, you are the sweetest to us. Your album is
Aw, I
a
love
bop.
you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
and we're going to
you.
see you on tour.
Yes.
Who do we have to hit up for
All
tickets?
good
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know somebody happening, sure.
We'll have
You know
people
you're
hit
gonna
our
catch us.
Thank you
people.
for having me. Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Just hit my people up.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Zara Larsson.
Zara Larsson, baby.
Thank
Love you to
you.
bits, girl.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100.